Alright, so basically, we are trying to figure out how to do this. You have your player, it's playing the animation. When you walk, there's a dash thingamajig. When you press space, this all maps to the WASD right now. It ends, like, when you go this way, it stops facing that direction. Stops, blah, all that stuff. Woo, let's go. Basically start out, drag and drop your sprite sheet into assets over here. Click it in the assets thing, and then if you are doing pixel art sprite sheet like me, then switch it to multiple, unless you only have a single sprite, in which case single's fine. And then for pixel, it's point no filter, and compression none, hit apply there. And then open up sprite editor, slice. I'm doing slice by automatic, so like it automatically slices each of these. It's a little shaky, but whatever. Theoretically, in the future, I should probably do grid by cell count instead, but these are not lined up, so we can't do that. And hypothetically, you should probably also name your sprites in here to make it easier when you're doing the animation thing, if you're organized, but I'm not organized, so I didn't do that. Don't be like me. Anyways, hit apply up here, all that stuff. I'm not going to apply because I've already done that. Over here, that'll give you all of these sprites, blah blah blah. Over here, you would either create an empty game object or just like drag a sprite in here, and add a sprite renderer, stick your sprite in here by clicking this thing right here, and choose the sprite you want as your sort of default thing. Put the order in layer as 5, or just really any number greater than 0. 0 is going to be the 0 would be like the floor, so the player will show up in front of the floor because 5 is greater than 0. Yay, math. Let's see. Animator. Nope, wrong one. First of all, animation. Go to animation window. If you don't have it open, you can go to window and then animation. Animator is also in here. Anyways, the default one should be like, there should be a create new button right here. Just hit create new and it'll bring up a little pop-up and like new animation and just make that thing basically. And then you would select these and then drag and drop in here, and you would get keyframes like like that. And so just kind of mess around with them. You can select all of them and then like mess around with the total length of time they are. You can select one and then like you can copy paste it, all that good stuff. And just basically futz around with it until you've got a nice animation. I'm pretty sure Unity also has like a pretty good built-in animation system if you're not doing a sprite sheet, but this is how you do it for sprite sheets. Anyways, do that. Make animations for walking in each direction. I have also this for dashing in each direction. And then the idle ones are not really animations, like this one is just one frame. It's just facing this direction, but for the purposes of our animator, we need them, so just make idle down, left, right, up. You know how directions work. And then here in the animator, add an animator over here. I don't know why that's unchecked. Why is that unchecked? Alright, I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's probably fine. Anyways, so you're going to have by default a bunch of these little gray things, and they're going to be like one for each of your animation clips. Delete all of them. We do not need them where we are going. We are going to blend trees. So over here, make 4 float things. Variables? I'm not actually sure what these are, but yeah, make 4 of them. Name them move x, move y, last move x, last move y. Move x and move y are, I think they're like tracking where you are on the x and y axis, something like that. And then last move x and last move y are basically doing the same thing, except it's like, for example, if I walk left, then my idle left animation is going to be the one that's going to be playing, so like I'm facing the right direction while I stop moving. Yeah, basically. And then make 2 of these bools, which are these 2 kind of things. One's is moving, is dashing, and this is basically just, are you moving and are you dashing? Yes, no. Alright, anyways, go in here. Create state from new blend tree. You right click here, by the way. Boop. And that will bring you one of these. I'll go ahead and delete that. Alright, basically, you would have, bring this, and you would click it. And for example, this one's named player moving, that's the blend tree. And you would change, the default is 1D, change it to 2D, simple directional. And then over here, it's going to give you motion, and just add a motion thing, add motion field, and then click this thing, and then select walk down, for example. We already have a walk down here, but just kind of Ignore that. And so you'd have walk down, walk up, walk left, walk right. And then walk down, for example, would be position y minus 1, so that's this one. Walk up is y1, so that's this one. And yeah, basically what direction you go. Whoa, look at that. Look at all those things going and moving. Base layer. Here we go. Dash tree, same thing basically, except with you put your dash animations in instead, and this is move X, move Y, and position is all the same stuff. And then player idle, same thing, except it's last move X and last move Y now, and these are the idle animations. Woot. Alright, set player moving as the layer default state, that's what will make this thing orange, and it'll go from entry to here. And then make transition, that'll like give you this cool little arrow thing. Make an arrow going, make these 4 arrows, you know how arrows work. Yeah, make transition, that, all that. Click your transitions. Alright, so here you would add a condition, for example, between moving and player idle, then it would be is moving, and then, well, you would click here and then like select from here, is moving, blah blah blah, and then because you're going from idle to moving, then that means is moving is true. And for this one, it's the opposite, is moving is false. Here, same thing except with is dashing. Is dashing is false. And then very important, very stupid, but very important, by default it's going to have has exit time checked and fixed duration checked, and also transition duration of 0.25. Uncheck all of that, make the transition 0, otherwise your animation is going to be super weird and not play, so I don't know why it's set like that, but yeah. This took me hours to figure out, and I hate all of it, but it works, so yeah. Let's see. I think that's it here. Okay, back to player. Okay, over here, add a rigid body real fast. Just add component, rigid bodies, search for rigid body 2D in here. By default, it's going to have angular drag and gravity scale. That's good for like side-scrolling platformers, but we don't need that here, so just set that all to 0. And then, yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. Alright, here's particle systems. It's really stupid. This particle system's not actually doing anything. I don't know why I need it, but it won't play the other two if I don't have that there. By the way, particle system is right click here and then go to effects, particle system, hit that, and it'll bring up this thing. This is dash trail. It's the little pink dash effect right there. This one's dash floof, it's the blue burst effect right there. I'm good at names. Anyways, stop that. Yeah, just use transform stuff to like mess with where things are being emitted, and then I'm just going to scroll through these settings very slowly, and you can see what I have checked. Unless you're doing this exact unless you're doing this exact particle effect, it's really not that important that you have the exact same settings as I do, so yeah. Basically, go to render, make your sprite thing default, that's like, or like just choose one of the sprite materials. If you want like a custom sprite thing, then click texture sheet animation, and then change this from grid to sprites, and then choose the sprite you want in here. This is color over lifetime. This just means that it fades to transparent over its lifetime, the particles. Shape, this is the shape things are being emitted in. Just choose whichever one you want. Emissions, this means add 1 equals a burst, so that's basically the blue bursts, 1 burst of particle emissions. Let's see. And then durations, how long this thing is, lifetime of particle. Make sure to uncheck play on awake, otherwise it'll just play as soon as you enter the game. Anything else? I don't think so. Yeah, just like here's start size, start speed, you can just mess with all of that and uncheck looping if you don't want it to loop. Here is also, you can make the start color random between 2 different colors, so we've got some random variety in there, it's pretty fun. And then finally to our script. If I can just open that in Visual Studios. Alright, I wrote all of this code like a year ago, so I don't remember what any of it does, and like, it's basically like 3 YouTube videos worth of weird information synthesized into one shambling mass, but roughly speaking, this stuff is all telling Unity to grab like particle system and rigid body and just like something, something, something. These are your public integers, and I don't know why this one's private, but it is. Public means that it'll like, for example, if you go into here and then you go to here, you see like the public variables have shown up in here and can mess with them in Unity. Back to Visual Studios. And then a private void start, so on start you would get all of this stuff. Something like that. I don't remember how any of this works anymore, but something. I'm just going to scroll very slowly and we'll look at it and we'll admire. Or possibly just cringe away in confusion. Starting speed I set is 4, but you can mess with that however you want. This is all the dash stuff. Theoretically, if you take out the dash stuff, I think it should still work, and you can just have like regular movement. I tried to do that earlier, but it didn't work, so I'm just gonna leave the dashing stuff in. It's fine. Dashes are fun. Important component of the dash is the dash time and dash time counter. These basically just make sure like you don't dash forever once you start dashing. I think this is something about time counting down, decreasing things? I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know how any of this works at this point. I've forgotten all of it, so I'm just going to copy paste this into the description or like a comment or something, and y'all can mess with it however you want. Alright, go back to here. Oh, also, like, run your script, hit this button. And then here for dash trail, add that particle system, select the appropriate one. Unclick that. For dash time, I set as 0.25, that's like how long the dash is, and that. So just kind of mess with it, see how long you want your dash to be. I don't think anything else needs the... Yeah, I think we're good here. Alright, quick thing. If you go from scene view to play game view, I don't know what this is, but if the player's not there, then check your camera preview. If your player's not in your camera preview, then click main camera, go to game object up here, and then go to align with view. And then that should do it. If not, Google your problems and hope that someone else solved them before you. That's what I do. Yeah. And so then you have player character that maps and does all this stuff. Troubleshooting suggestions. Make sure that your variables are named the same thing in your code and in your Unity. I spent like 2 hours wondering why things weren't working, and it turned out it was because I capitalized the I in is moving when it wasn't capitalized in the code, and that was 2 hours of my life that I'm never getting back, thanks. Also check that all your private variables are private, all your public variables are public, and like you didn't mix them up. I remember that fucked me over last time. Yeah. Good luck, have fun. Also, just, if something goes wrong, like, just go through all the settings and see if something is, like, weird, if something's checked that shouldn't be checked, if something's, like, just look through your settings. It's the amount of times that something didn't work because a single checkbox was unchecked. And so I'm just gonna, you can just go through and look at these settings. Do your settings match these settings? If they don't, then you might be a little fucked. If they do, then, well, keep looking.